Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of F1 2023 Driver Career Mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we're headed to one of the best venues in Formula One, Silverstone circuit here for the British Grand Prix. Upgrades coming from Mercedes, Red Bull, or not Red Bull, but McLaren and Ferrari this weekend. And we're going to be changing components on the MG UK there. We're coming off of an 8th and 10th place result respectfully between myself and Tsunoda. I'm hearing some rumors that we might be getting a Spec 3 chassis upgrade after this Grand Prix, which will be huge for the development for the final half of the season. And following today, we're halfway through the season. The halfway point of the season is today in Silverstone. It's hard to believe Season 3 kind of flying by. And I've already been thinking about plans for Season 4. We're probably not going to have as huge changes as Season 3 had. I'm hoping the changes there are like regulation changes, but I am, trying to develop a plan if we don't have regulation changes. I'd be surprised if there wasn't, but there's always a situation where there might not be any. So I'm trying to develop a plan for that here now. We were pretty happy with the car in practice. I had to make some setup changes to kind of get it more towards my driving preference. I really like to mess with the toe of the car. Like, I always turn the toe up. A lot of setups run like 0 toe in, 0 toe out. I like to move both of those quite a bit up. So it just kind of fits my driving style, it seems like. But nonetheless, we rolled through into qualifying. Now, last episode in Austria, myself and Tsunoda, we kind of slotted in right where our car is based right now in the R&D. We have continued to struggle to hang with the likes of Mercedes, Red Bull, McLaren, and Ferrari. We can kind of hold in their DRS for the first part of a run, and then we just kind of fade. And our car is kind of on an island of its own right now. I had to run 2 laps to advance into Q2, but we would advance P13 as well. Devin Butler again out-qualifies his teammate Aiden Jackson. A terrible effort, but Esteban Ocon starts this Grand Prix from dead last. How about that? The 2 Alfa Romeo Haas cars out and Ayumu Iwasa out as well. I'm hearing we're not going to see any drivers sacked at the halfway point of the season. Of course, a lot of rookies. It would be a little bit unfortunate to see them only get 8 races under their belt before they're fired from their teams. Here in Q2, however, my first lap got invalidated, so I had to run this lap here to try and advance into Q3, which it's been a moment since we've gone to Q3, but that's going to change today. We're going to slip through into Q3, P10 and P9 for Tsunoda. Piastri out in the Williams, Bottas, Gasly, Sargent actually up there in the top 15 looking pretty good, and Devin Butler there in P15 for Connor Sport. So we jump into Q3, and this is going to be one of potentially 2 laps here. Tsunoda not on track, so Tsunoda went P9 and decided that he was not going to be able to do any better, so he is the only one not on circuit right now. We were P10 in Q2. I was expecting to be either P9 or P10 for qualifying as well. I mean, once again on the R&D, we're on an island of our own, separated from the teams in front of us until we get Spec 3 on the chassis, as well as there's one more department, and then we are far ahead enough of the cars behind us on the R&D to where they're not really a threat. It is a frustrating downgrade from last season, but we're continuing to make strides here now, as we would set our first lap and it was only P10. I would run a second lap, but I would make this mistake right here, go for a spin on the exit of the S's. That's game over. It'll be P10 off the grid, 9/10 off my teammate Tsunoda, and Albon splits the 2 Mercedes, and second there, Russell on pole. This could make for an interesting start. We're wasting no time. Let's head to the grid.
Welcome everyone as you join us at a former Second World War aircraft base, now converted into one of the great motor racing tracks. Britain is one of only 2 countries to have held a Grand Prix in every year of the Formula One World Championship, and long may that continue. This is Silverstone, and this is the British Grand Prix. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position, and Alex Albon lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Perez, Verstappen, Norris, Sainz, Leclerc, Tsunoda, Golden Boy, Oscar Piastri, Bottas, Gasly, Sargent, Butler, Iwasa, Liam Lawson, Teo Pourchaire, Jackson, and Esteban Ocon lines up at the back of the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Okay, Gary, what's the goal out there today?
We're just going to try and hang on to the Ferrari's DRS as long as we can.
All right, good luck.
If we do indeed get a Spec 3 chassis following this Grand Prix going into the next episode, I'm going to be really happy with where this team is headed. And can we get through today without a mechanical failure? I think there'll be like 3 Grand Prix in a row. Mediums to hards, as usual. Let's get ready to roll.
Here we go then, and we're off for the formation lap here at Silverstone, dubbed the home of British motor racing. Now, while the layout of this circuit has changed on numerous occasions, the spirit of the track that hosted the very first Formula One World Championship Grand Prix still very much prevails. As the cars make their way back to the starting grid to form up and get ready for lights out, let's hope the race ahead today is a thrilling one that will go down as a memorable Grand Prix in the history books.
Hang on to the Ferraris as long as you can today. That will keep us in striking distance.
Yes, sir. I'll do what I can, and as well, hopefully Yuki can stick with us. Yuki has kind of been struggling lately. We can kind of separate ourselves from him, and then we can just drive away once we break him out of the DRS, and hopefully he can put up some better results here today. Of course, it seems like we've kind of had a driver downgrade after Fernando left, but as well a team downgrade, so 2 and 2 together. It's, of course, a difficult combination, but we're ready to roll for the Silverstone British Grand Prix. It's going to be Russell leading the way over Alex Albon. Here we go, lights out and racing in Silverstone. It's a poor start for Tsunoda. Looks like he's going to get it going decently. We're up the inside there of Leclerc. We're 3 wide actually. As we dive down into turn 1, we come out on top somehow. I don't get a warning for that little off track right there, but up front it's a completely different scenario. Albon actually got in front of Russell, and so did Sergio Perez. So down to 3rd and 5th is the 2 Mercedes after starting 1st and 3rd because Verstappen slips through in between both Russell and Hamilton. There's Norris just behind as well, but Alex Albon out in front here. Could today be the day where we see him get his first win? Probably not, because Mercedes is just significantly faster than everybody now. Wheel to wheel in the background there. That's Piastri going at it with our teammate of Tsunoda there. There's a little bit of contact between the two, it looked like, but Tsunoda, he's going to come out on top. You got both of the Williams-Martini drivers right there of Piastri and Sargent right together now. As you can see, the field getting things sorted out very quickly as they go through comps, and we're going to be able to hold on to our position and be pretty happy overall with the start of this Grand Prix. As the 2 Connor Sport cars at the back of the grid with both Aiden Jackson as well as Devin Butler as we continue now down towards that final chicane. So lap 2, same situation, same corner I should say, into the final chicane again. There was a bit of a battle here. So Verstappen had actually gotten passed by Hamilton, so he would drop down to P6. Sainz and Leclerc lined up right behind him. Verstappen and Red Bull in general have kind of had a bit of a fade off here in the recent episodes now. We thought they were going to be challenging Mercedes. Not been the scenario so far as I go wide through comps. Fortunately, enough battery to just hammer it down and keep myself in distance as we come through to lap 4 in that DRS range still of Leclerc, but hoping that these guys are going to start fighting each other. That's what's going to allow me to stay in the mix. And speaking of fighting, Perez going for the lead. A side-by-side move, an aggressive move, a bold spot to go for it there, and it might work for Perez, but it's also worked for Russell because it's brought him right into the mix now. They're still side-by-side in front. The Red Bull to the lead. The question is, for how long? Here comes George Russell, the World Championship leader. He knows he's under pressure from Hamilton, who's won the last 2 Grand Prix in Canada. He went to Austria, won the sprint race and the Grand Prix there as well. Hamilton's been on fire. He's, of course, now an 8-time world champion, don't forget, just from last season winning that world title there in season 2. Could he become a 9-time world champion this season, and could he continue to go further than that? We'll have to wait and see. Sainz drops to P8 though. You saw the overtake from Leclerc, and all of a sudden it seems like my mediums were firing up because we not only stuck with Sainz, we're attacking him, and then the next car in front of us on softs, Lando Norris getting passed by a driver on mediums. It seems like the softs are going through a bit of a fall off period. We've seen this, I believe, at Silverstone before last season, where the soft tires were a big disadvantage. A lunge up the inside of Norris, a really awkward angle there though to be able to lunge any further, so we stay put in P8 right behind Norris. Leclerc, Verstappen now up to 5th as he tries to drive away, battle for the lead again. Russell this time going to slide on through. Hamilton has gotten past Albon, so down to 4th goes Albon as yellow flags actually moments later as this was happening behind us, and that I believe might be Liam Lawson. Yes, it is the Alfa Romeo Haas. Lawson, I feel like, said more mechanical failures than anybody this season. It's been a rough rookie adventure for him, to say the least. We got another yellow. This could be a safety car. It is a safety car. We have two separate yellows because there's one for Lawson, who stopped, and the other one for this guy, Pierre Gasly in the Alpine, pulling off. So safety car is going to be deployed. It's been a safety car heavy season, and look at this. Very split strategy. The two Mercedes, oh my goodness, this is going to change everything. The two Mercedes have stayed out. Verstappen has stayed out, so has Leclerc and my teammate of Tsunoda, Perez, Albon, myself. We are all coming in, same for Carlos Sainz. We have all hit the jackpot. We have seen Mercedes screw up Hamilton's strategy under safety car this season twice, but now they've screwed up both cars in the same moment, with Hamilton and Russell staying out. They did not pit, nobody pitted on the next lap around. So Russell, Hamilton, Verstappen are going to be, and Leclerc, and Tsunoda, and Sargent are going to be the top 6 when we go back racing here. Perez on down, including myself, are all on fresh tires. We get ready to go back racing, and now we see a bunch dive in as we're going back green. Sargent, Leclerc, as well as Max Verstappen, they are all in, as well as Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton pits, so Russell stays out. This is a very baffling segment of safety car period, to say the least. So Russell's out front over then my teammate of Yuki Tsunoda, and he would actually hold up these cars in front of me, so he's kind of doing God's work for me right here, because Perez and Albon get stuck behind him and allows me to stay in fighting distance. Of course, DRS not enabled yet, but look at this. Albon up the inside through turn 1, and I'm going to slide through around the outside. Unfortunately, Tsunoda's race is destroyed because of this whole scenario of staying out under the safety car and still having to pit. He's going to be lucky to finish in the top 15. Another throwaway race for Yuki, and that's going to hurt us in the constructor situation. Unfortunately, I just don't have the speed to maintain with these guys in front of me. I just have no pace, dude. We need these upgrades so bad.
Yep, I hear you. Just keep fighting.
We lose a spot to Lando, down to P5. The battle for the lead picking up. So here's Perez. He's just going to breeze past Russell with the DRS on lap 13. Russell's going to be still coming into the pits, and him and Tsunoda appear to be the last two that we're going to see coming into the pit lane now. But you can see as well, here goes Sainz, just really hard to keep him behind us now. So the goal is to just hang on to his DRS for the rest of the race, because you never know what's going to happen. Nonetheless, we're going to get a way better finish than what we probably would have gotten because of the safety car and the confusion and the weird pit stop strategy. Russell now pits in from second place, so that puts Perez, Albon, Norris, your top 3. Does Sainz have anything for Norris? We'll wait and see. Hamilton 15th, and Hamilton would come out in front of Russell. How long will that last, though? Russell's on brand new tires. We're about to find out, because just moments later, the same lap going down into comps, a huge lunge into comps right there, and contact maybe right there. It looked close, but I think there was a little bit of these two had a run in back recently in Montreal. There was some controversy there with the pit stop and why Mercedes had Hamilton, of course, with the advantage there on the pit cycle when Russell was the one in control of the race, and now these two continue to battle wheel to wheel, and that has opened the door for their best friend Max Verstappen to come sweeping through around the outside of Russell and Hamilton, and he's going to stay put in 14th place for now. But Russell is absolutely flying, and he's going to continue to fly through the field. I wouldn't rule him out of even catching up to just about myself, honestly, now. Unfortunately, even pushing 100%, I couldn't keep up with Sainz and Norris as well. Now, Silverstone's pretty difficult of a circuit against the AI, so I wasn't surprised that they were just kind of blowing me away at times. But, I mean, even in Austria, once we lost connection in the DRS, we kind of had the same fate, the same deck of cards dealt to us. Battle for the lead again. Albon, who, of course, took the lead on the start, kind of fell backwards there, and now that Mercedes is not really a part of the conversation, here he is inserting himself into the conversation and going for a potential victory here today for the first time in his Formula 1 career. Of course, he drove at Red Bull all those years ago and things didn't quite work out, but things could be working out today in that McLaren move. Perez back through, and, well, I mean, it's perfectly fitting that Albon might actually have to go up against Red Bull to potentially win his first race in Formula 1. Perez hasn't won in over a season. It's been since Miami in Season 2 since he has won. There's been rumors up in the air about his future that we don't know about, but let's go through the grid with less than 10 laps to go in Silverstone.
Well, Martin, it appears we're set for a showdown between Perez and Albon today. Who do you have winning this?
I'm going with determination over experience, so Albon in this instance, Crofty. He has had a great season so far with his new team and continues to impress with what I'd call a second chance at a big team for him.
How about some of the names in the top 10 guys? Piastri, Jackson and Butler, the two Mercedes, are still flying forwards. So I'm doubtful the Conesport duo will get points, but it's been a great day for that team.
And a home race for everyone there, from the team itself to the drivers.
We saw Aiden Jackson get off to a lovely start, but he's fallen off quite a bit as the season has gone on. It is important to note, however, that the gap between Conesport and the top teams have only grown.
With potential regulation changes looming, could this explain the reluctant upgrading from the lower and new teams?
Oh, 100% Crofty. However, think about if the changes do not happen. That will be a huge blow to all the bottom 5 teams who are focused elsewhere right now.
I guess only time will tell.
And there you have, through the grid, Perez is still out in front over Albon. Russell is up to 7th place. He continues to absolutely haul the mail. Piastri with a great day as well, benefiting from the safety car strategy, but Russell would pass him, and he's only 6.5 seconds behind me. He's gaining about 2 seconds a lap with 3 laps to go. He has enough time to get to me. Battle for the lead continues. This is coming to the final few laps of this Grand Prix as we continue on an island of our own. Albon going for the lead. Perez trying to defend like a lion. Is he going to be successful? He caught a bit of the grass right there on the entrance to the corner. They continue side by side, maybe some wheel-to-wheel contact. Albon goes around the outside, but 2 laps to go. They would come around the same corner the next lap. White flag, of course, getting ready to wave, and Perez is going to go back through and take the lead. Can he hold off Albon for the final lap? It's not going to happen at all because Perez misses a corner. He locks up, and that opens the door wide open for Alex Albon to drive away out of DRS range, and that would be it. Albon would hang on through the final moments. We come to the final lap in Silverstone. Alex Albon would come through to win the British Grand Prix.
Yeah, thank you everyone. Thanks for everything. Thanks for sticking with me. But yeah, thank you.
Albon has done it right to the ending. That was under pressure from George Russell into the final chicane. I just take a defensive line and we're able to hold him off, but he went an absolute charge and I just shut the door. I said, no, you're not passing me after being that far back. So P5 for us in Silverstone. We will absolutely take that. We didn't have a 5th place car, but we played our cards right, took advantage of strategy, and we got the benefit out of it. So luck was on our side today. Aiden Jackson, driver of the day, he actually got P11. Let's head to the podium.
Well, they've done a brilliant job, I must say, under some intense pressure to take a well-earned victory here at the British Grand Prix. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
What a day for Alex Albon, and it's nice to see McLaren win again. Of course, at the end of last season, we saw Lando Norris go on a bit of a tear, while Piastri just wasn't able to put up the same results. And of course, Piastri couldn't do it in the first 2 seasons at all. It's a bit different from real life, of course, where Piastri's, performing tremendously well in his rookie season. But obviously, he lost his ride to Albon here, and Alex Albon has excelled. He has been outperforming Lando for the majority of this season, which has got to be, not good for Lando's mindset after being the top guy at McLaren for all these years. Lando's still on the podium, however, but he's not going to deliver their first win of the season as Albon is able to do that here in Silverstone. What a day. You can see Perez, of course, P2. Verstappen only rebounded to P9. Russell, Hamilton, P6 and P7. Aiden Jackson, how about Devin Butler? A career day for him in 13th place as well. Unfortunately, our teammate of Sonoda down in 14th, and then the 2 DNFs, of course, Gasly as well as Liam Lawson at the back of the grid there. But a really interesting Grand Prix. We didn't need chaos for this one to be interesting. Just one safety car really turned things upside down. Russell, Hamilton, 13 points apart. Perez makes some headway on them, 43 back, Verstappen 49 back, and then you got Albon and Norris right there together. All the teams are just literally bracketed together there, which is interesting. But yeah, you see the points there. We'll take a look briefly at the constructors before we wrap things up. We are 5th on the board, separated from the teams in front of us and behind us, just like the R&D. That'll do it for me. I'll see you guys in the next one, halfway through the season, halfway to go. Have a great day, everybody.